Laser sights increase confidence regardless of experience level, whether you're learning the fundamentals or overcoming aging eyes. Crimson Trace, making laser sights standard equipment. Visit crimsontrace.com to find a dealer near you.
Tom has given the crew of Gun Talk the holiday off to spend with their family. Sit back and enjoy a reloaded version of a previously broadcast Gun Talk.
Hello. I am so glad that you could be with us today. Tom Gresham here. Yes, it's Gun Talk. We're talking about guns and ammo. A lot of talk about ammo today, as a matter of fact. And, of course, anything else that has to do with guns or shooting. Glad that you could be with us. We are doing a first today, a little bit of inside baseball. We're doing a remote broadcast from a cabin in Idaho using the latest in technology with fingers crossed the entire time. It's snowing out here. We're hoping it all works, but so far so good. Did a little shooting, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Went out and did some revolvering. We were talking about shooting a lot of revolvers this year just because it's fun. And my friend Tracy had his 38 Snubby. He has one of those little super lightweight Smith & Wessons. And he says, man, that thing really kicks. I says, yeah, they do when you shoot plus P loads in them. So I had some real light wad cutter loads. And he says, oh, that's a lot better. Yes, as a matter of fact, it is. Less recoil is a whole lot better when you're trying to just shoot and have fun and master a few things. We worked on a few technique things. He's a great big guy, got huge hands, and trying to wrap up that little revolver, it's kind of a matter of, how do you hold it, where do you put it? And I was showing him that on a revolver, especially, the higher you can get your hand on the grip, the more you can control the recoil. And it just changes the geometry of the whole thing. I think it's just easier to shoot, I think. And I shot my new 357 7-shot 686, but shooting it with light loads also, light 38s. That was fun. And then I'm looking hard at this new Ruger GP100 in 44 Special. And it hasn't arrived yet. It's on order, trying to get it in. And I cannot wait to shoot that. That is going to be just bunches of fun. We'll be talking about, the guns that you've been shooting, looking for your range reports if you'd like to join us with that. The number is 866-TALK-GUN. The news from this week was breathtaking, startling, and bad. Maryland's so-called assault weapons ban was upheld by the U.S. Appeals Court, the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals. What they said was it is perfectly okay to ban semi-automatic rifles because they are weapons of war. Yeah, I know. If you've not heard this before, if you haven't heard this news, you're thinking, no, Tom, you got that wrong. They said, quote, we simply put, we have no power to extend Second Amendment protections to weapons of war, Judge Robert King wrote for the court, adding that the Supreme Court's decision in the District of Columbia v. Heller explicitly excluded such coverage. Of course, it did not. They also said that there's only a slight difference between a semi-auto and a full-auto firearm. With this line of thinking, and this is a ban, with this line of thinking and saying that these firearms are extraordinarily dangerous, any firearm could be banned. Flip that around. What that means is that no firearm falls under Second Amendment protection. Because a gun is dangerous, and I would hope that they all are, that being part of the original intent of firearms, of course, is to project power. If they're dangerous, we can ban them. I mean, that's what they're saying, and say that there's no difference between semi-auto and full auto. So a semi-automatic rifle, which of course are in popular use, ARs, AKs, whatever, most popular rifles being made and sold in America today. And of course, under the Heller decision, it said you can't ban guns that are in common use. Well, there's nothing more common than the AR-15 modern sporting rifle, where they're using it for self-defense, home defense, competition, hunting, or just recreational shooting out at the range. Millions upon millions upon millions have been made, have been sold, are owned by law-abiding people in the U.S. despite the fact that more people in the U.S. are murdered with fists and feet, rocks and bricks, than they are with all rifles combined, much less the subset of semi-auto rifles, the Fourth Circuit decides, yeah, it's okay to ban these guns on the basis of them being dangerous. Well, this is about as clear as it gets. And the one saving grace on this, the one place where we can put some shining hope, is that if Judge Neil Gorsuch becomes Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch, and I think he will, and this case goes to the Supreme Court, and I think it will, one would hope that the Supreme Court would turn around and tell the Fourth Circuit, no, you can't ignore what we said. In the Heller decision and then in the McDonald decision, we said these guns are protected by the Second Amendment. In the decade or so since the Heller decision, many, many lower courts have just said, we don't care. We're going to rule that there is no Heller decision. We're going to ignore what they said. In fact, we're actually going to act on the basis of the dissent of the losers in the Heller decision, and we're going to pretend that what they said when they dissented to the decision actually is the law. It is the most bizarre Alice in Wonderland upside-down world where up is down and black is white, and everything is backwards. So we have this decision out of the Fourth Circuit that says it's perfectly legal under the Second Amendment to ban the most popular rifles in America. This is what it's all about. And frankly, imagine this. Now, I'm not saying that, what's going to happen here, but I think I'm hopeful that it goes to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court overturns this. But just imagine for a moment where we would be if Hillary Clinton was in the White House. Talk about elections having consequences. Holy cow. So I guess the question for you is, what if you were in a state where they said, nope, you can't own these anymore, and you know that that's legally wrong. You know that that's incorrect. You know that it's in violation of the Constitution of the Bill of Rights, and you own one of these firearms. And this is not hypothetical for many of you, because this has happened to you, I know. So the question is, what would you do? What have you done? 866-TALK-GUN, or just call Tom Talk Gun. Let me know what you're thinking about this. What would be your course of action? We'll be right back.
The pistol that redefines pocket carry just got even better. The Ruger LCP-2 has improved sights, an easy-to-rack slide, a larger textured grip surface for a secure grip and recoil reduction, and a short, crisp, single-action trigger pull for real-world accuracy. It's so small and light that there's no reason to ever leave home without your LCP-2. A serious pistol in a pint-sized package. Learn more about the LCP-2 at Ruger.com.
When someone leaves you their gun collection, you may want a few, but what do you do with the rest? How do you sell them? Who do you call? Well, I call Johnny Dury at Dury's Guns. Whether you're selling one gun or 500, they'll tell you what it's worth and write you a check. Simple, quick, easy, fair. I trust Dury's Guns. Give them a call. DurysGuns.com.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at ShopGunTalk.com. Get prepared. ShopGunTalk.com.
Every crossbreed holster is handmade based on the design invented by our founder. A Kydex pocket molded around your gun for perfect retention. Leather backing for comfort. Specially designed clips allow you to tuck in your shirt for complete concealment. The highest quality mag carriers and belts sturdy enough to hold any gun. Our holsters come with a lifetime warranty and 2-week try-it-free guarantee. Crossbreed. Conceal and carry the cross. Crossbreedholsters.com.
All right, back with the 866 Talk Gun to get you in here. We get emails, we get questions. I like this one. Since heard your show for the first time today, and I must say I am very impressed. Well, thank you. I'm looking for a Ruger AR-556. Everything I've read about this gun has been very positive. The only knock on it is that the inside of the barrel is not chrome-plated. Okay. Is this a big deal? I keep all of my guns spotless. That is, I clean them as soon as I get home from the range. I figured I would run a snake down the pipe, and it should be good until I take down and do a thorough cleaning. What do you think? Well, I think you kind of figured it out. And I would love to get your take on this. Chrome plating of AR barrels. My sense, okay, it's just me, personal opinion, not based on anything other than that. My sense is that the chrome plating is a big deal in military use where you may not be able to clean it, take care of it. But I'm just thinking that for most of us, we go out to the range, we shoot a few hundred rounds, we come back and we clean our rifles. I'm just not sure that's a big deal. What do you think? Chrome plating, do you think it's a big deal in an AR? Or do you just not worry about it and take care of your gun? 866 Talk Gun. Line 3, Tom's with us, driving in Atlanta. Tom, what happened?
Hey, Tom. Well, we took a lady out to the range. She had a little incident in her home, got scared, so she's looking at getting a concealed carry or a handgun for her home. So following your advice over all these years, we took her out. We had 4 different handguns, 3 small ones, including a revolver, and we let her shoot so she could get a taste of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's, looking to see what she likes. We even took out my Kimber 45, and she's like, the 38 revolver snub nose that we took, she's like, the Kimber doesn't kick half as much as that little snub nose does.
Yeah, that's always the way.
My wife has a 380
mm-hmm.
LCP, so she shot the one my wife currently uses, and the 9mm car she used to carry. So anyhow, we got that done, but I wanted to know who are you using for your self-defense insurance that you use in case of a shooting?
I don't call it insurance because it's not exactly insurance, but I use the Armed Citizens Legal Defense Network. What it is they provide support in the way of expert testimony, former cops, former current trainers, lawyers. They get you the right lawyer right off the bat. They will not, however, do this if it's not a good shoot. They take a look at it. And so you'll have people like Masada Ayub and Marty Hayes and different people who really know what they're doing backing you up. It's called the Armed Citizens Legal Defense Network. And I think that they really do a good job. I mean, and they do provide financial support. And they have, had occasion to do that a few times and help their members. It's not insurance in the way we think of just buying an insurance policy. I think it's a little better than that, but it kind of fits what I was looking for. So you might just take a look at it and see what that does for you.
Okay, I was trying to remember the name. I couldn't, so I called in to chat with Michelle for a little bit, and then she put me on to find out what that was.
Let me ask you, Tom. After your friend shot all these different guns, did she end up settling on one?
She hasn't bought one yet. She like I said, she shot a LCP, she shot a Car CW9, she shot the 38 snub nose, and then she shot my Kimber 45. And she went inside the gun store, and I said, well, here you are, just pick them up and find one that fits your hand. She did like, there was a, I'm trying to remember, what was it? I think there was a Glock that she really liked. So, it'll be up to her, but we got her out. And this is a lady who had her eye put out by a BB gun when she was a child. Don't point that, you'll put your eye out. Well,
right.
As a child, she got shot in the eye with a BB gun and is blind in one eye, but she got past her fears and everything. And she, like I say, she was motivated because of an incident that happened at her house.
Yep, that's the way it happens. And, and honestly, it's as important to find out what you don't like as what you do like. So if she said, okay, I really don't like shooting a snubby 38, that's important. You can take that off the list.
Yeah, that's why I followed your advice and took out, 4 different handguns, not including my black powder. I don't think she wants to carry that big old,
no.
that big old thing for a boat anchor for self-defense.
Right.
But we did that, and she got over her fear and got to shoot some different things.
Excellent.
The 45, she goes, I like the Kimber, but it's heavy to carry. I go, yeah, because it has no recoil. It hasn't even that big 45.
Yeah, the two go together. If it's really heavy, it won't kick much, but it's also heavy. So there you go. So, hey, Tom, look, I just want to give you a big old attaboy. That is a great job. I appreciate you doing that. That's the way to introduce somebody to shooting. Let them try different guns, and then let her or him pick the one that works best. Appreciate that. Let's go to Bobby on line 2 out of Maryland. Hey, Bobby, you got a range report for us?
Yes, sir, Tom. I have a range report, and also I have the hands-down absolute best carry rig ever.
Okay.
Range report. Went out this morning. 4 or 5 of us got together. And, first of all, we cleaned up the range really well, which helped. We had 4 different M&P 1522s, and on each one we had a different type of sight. Which really made it fun. We just passed them back and forth, and we shot between 20 yards and 100 yards. One of them, we just had, the Magpul M-Bus open sights on one. We had a red dot on another. We had I believe it's a Bushnell optic with the compensator in the reticle.
Oh, okay. Bullet drop compensator on it, yep.
Yeah, absolutely. That thing was just on the mark at 100 yards.
All right, tell everybody just how much fun is that Smith & Wesson M&P 1522. We're talking about a 22 rimfire AR-15, folks. How much? I mean, isn't that just the greatest amount of fun?
Oh, absolutely. I tell you what, especially for kids, older adults that aren't really into guns and they just kind of want to try things out. Literally, Tom, I've sent thousands of rounds through mine, and although I'm a pretty good stickler on cleaning things, I may have touched this gun twice as far as cleaning it, and it just runs and runs and runs. And I have a 5.56 that I shoot at the range quite often, and a couple of 30-06s, along with a few pistols. And I'll tell you the truth, I haven't shot any of the other guns that I have in a long time since I've gotten this M&P 1522.
I know what you mean. And the cool part is we get them into the office, and they come in all these cool different colors. And people go, I want the orange and stripy one, or I want the purple stripy one. I mean, they're just neat looking. So I think it's a great gun. They're not terribly expensive. They're lightweight. And they actually take the same trigger system as an AR. So if you have a favorite trigger you like, you can pop it right in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you, I didn't have any trouble getting used to the factory trigger. I'm totally fine with that.
All right, tell me about this carry rig that you fell in love with.
Okay, the carry rig. I'll tell you, unlike a lot of other people, for some reason, I do not have a box of holsters that I've tried and thrown in the drawer. But what I do have is a box of belts. I tell you what, start out with a good belt, and then you've said it 1,000 times on your show. The BigFoot gun belt with the steel core. Oh, my gosh, that thing would hold up an AR, let me tell you.
and it makes the whole thing comfortable. It makes everything comfortable when you have a good gun belt.
Absolutely. Look, I've got the BigFoot gun belt, of course, and then I put a Glock 23 in an alien gear inside the waistband holster and in the small of my back. And I tell you, I wear it all day long, and I go to take it off at night, and I almost have to try to remember that it's on my belt. The belt is that good. It's just unbelievable. Yep.
Yeah, people who they're chasing this system, they keep trying to holsters. Sometimes I think you're right. I think maybe they need to be looking for a better belt.
I think you're right. Absolutely. I do have a box of belts. That is not a lie.
All right. Hey, Bobby, thank you. Appreciate that. I got to get to John on line 1 out of Vega, Texas here. John, chrome lining, what do you think?
Chrome lining was done during Vietnam when they first came out of the ARs because of a cleaning issue. for extraction, dirty chambers. But in modern arms, for what little people clean, military, it's important, civilians and all. We barrel lots of rifles with chromoly or stainless barrels, and use regular barrel blanks that aren't chrome lined, and it makes no problem whatsoever.
So really no difference. Just get a good barrel and just take care of it then.
Exactly. And clean your chamber. They make brushes to clean the chamber with, and it's so important on a gas gun because they don't have the extracting power or the camming action that a bolt gun does, and it's so important to extract the cartridge out of the chamber.
Yeah, so if you have a clean chamber, the cartridge isn't going to stick in there because you just don't have the mechanical advantage of a camming action, of a bolt action, to yank it out of there. That's how we end up with a stuck cartridge in there, and we pull the rim off.
And that's exactly right, and I see that all the time, and unfortunately, I'm not trying to cut nobody's ammunition down, but when it's made overseas and it's made in steel cases, our firearms are not made to handle steel cases, especially the Russian stuff, and it's extremely dirty, and I've tried to get so many of them cartridges out of stuck chambers because of that simple fact.
Exactly. John, appreciate that. That's really good info. Yeah, choose your ammo wisely. People say, yeah, it's cheaper. Yes. And you know what that means? It's cheaper. It's usually dirty, messes up your gun or fouls up your gun, could end up with stuck cases. And when you look at the overall, you say, okay, what's it going to cost? Another 5-10 cents a round? And I realize that's money. But at the same time, do I really want to take a chance at harming my rifle? Not to mention the fact that it's just not that good. In fact, I'll tell you what, when we come back, we're going to be talking about ammo, and there is a new handgun round out, self-defense round, that is so startling. It is so startlingly effective, and it's so different that you just got to see it. You got to see the videos. You got to see what it does. When we talk about that, I mean, it very well may change what you carry for your everyday carry for your home defense handgun round. We'll also be talking about all sorts of ammo. I want to talk about rifle also. So if you have any kind of ammo question, you want to get it in right now, 866-TALK-GUN, 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk.
Giving the crew of Gun Talk the holiday off to spend with their family. Sit back and enjoy a reloaded version of a previously broadcast Gun Talk.
Alrighty, don't forget that on Sportsman Channel, our shows Gun Venture and Guns and Gear have changed to a new date. It's now Thursdays. They call them Lock and Load Thursdays. You can see our shows on Sportsman Channel year-round. Just check it out. And also, the current season's shows of both Guns and Gear and Gun Venture are being posted to Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and YouTube. Just look for Gun Talk on all of those. When it comes to ammunition questions, well, actually, shooting questions, too. There's a guy that I call and ask because I figure he's a guy who knows. I mean, there are some people who think they know, and then there are people who actually really do know. Jeff Hoffman is the guy who really does know. He is the president, the owner of Black Hills Ammunition, joins us right now. Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Hey, Tom, good to be with you again.
Good to be with you. I am up in the frozen North Country. Of course, I know you live in the frozen North Country.
Sometimes. It's South Dakota. If you don't like the weather today, just wait 5 minutes.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm up in Idaho right now, and in a cabin in Idaho watching it snow like crazy. So talking about guns is a good thing to do, right?
That's right.
All right, so I guess for those, you know what, sometimes I think we forget that some people are just joining us for the first time, and they may not know much about the story about Black Hills Ammo. Can you give them kind of the short version of how you came about and what Black Hills does?
Well, we'll shorten it up quite a bit. I was a cop out here in Rapid, and we were pretty close to starving to death. I started in '79 at $4.67 an hour, and I had working 3 jobs, and my wife Christy was working, and we were struggling. And a friend of mine was making ammunition for the local agencies, and said, he was on the department with me, and he said, "Jeff, I'm getting really tired of this law enforcement stuff. Do you think I could make a living making ammo full time?" And I said, "Well, no." And he didn't listen and started, and I'm kind of glad he didn't, because he started a company and I started working for him part time. That was my third job, and then he, as most businesses do, he ran into need for some more cash and offered to let us buy in. And Christy said, "I wish you'd consider that." And I said, "Well, gee, I don't know anything about business." She said, "Well, I do," because she's an accounting major, and she says, "Guns and ammo, I think you ought to do that." So we bought in, and it's worked out pretty well. We later separated. That first company was Black Hills Shooter Supply, and they still are in existence selling components, and we broke off and formed a new company, Black Hills Ammunition, in '89 or late '88, and everything has worked out really pretty good since then.
I guess you got a complete line of metallic cartridges, handguns and rifle ammo. And, of course, you do, people may not know, you do an awful lot of work for the United States military in special, I would call it small batch. It's kind of like they do with liquor. You do small batch ammo for special people, don't you?
That's probably a good way to describe it, Tom, yeah. We're the people in the back of the room that raise their hand when a need for something comes up and everybody else says, "Gee, that sounds kind of hard. I don't think I'm interested in that." We raise our hand and say, "Yeah, we'll take a swing at that."
Well, I'm thinking about that and this crazy handgun ammo that you showed me at SHOT Show. This thing just looks weird, works weird, and has tons of promise. What do you call this stuff?
Well, we're calling it Honey Badger. When we first introduced it, we used the name that was put on it by Lehigh Defense, who we worked with in designing the round. And then later on, I thought Honey Badger might be appropriate because this ammunition really doesn't care about a lot of the limitations that hinder hollow point ammunition. And the good folks that had that trademark turned out to be unknown to me, were friends of ours in the industry, and they said, "Yeah, you can use that term for your ammunition." So we added that.
So all right, so this is not.
Go ahead, Tom.
I was just going to say, this is not an expanding bullet, but it is a self-defense bullet, right?
That's the crazy thing is, throughout history, the common thought has been that it has to be a hollow point for it to be an effective defense bullet, or at least a soft point to be an expanding bullet. And this bullet doesn't expand at all. It's a solid copper, non-deforming, non-expanding, non-fragmenting bullet. But we've designed it using the geometry on the nose of the bullet in such a way that we've been able to tailor it to optimum penetration depths, and it gives really impressive performance in gelatin, and it doesn't have a hollow point that can plug shut, and it even at the lower velocities where sometimes it's kind of hard to get a hollow point to open up, this bullet is still performing well.
Well, what I hear you saying is it will work from short barrel revolvers.
Yeah, it does, though. One of the first ones we introduced was a 38 Special, and we were able to, it's kind of funny how we did it. It's a 100-grain bullet doing right at 1,000 feet per second out of a snubby revolver. And when that hits gelatin, you get like an 18-inch wound track with a better temporary cavity diameter than what you get with a hollow point. I think it's the most effective snubby 38 ammunition that you can buy.
I mean, for a lot of us who, we thought we knew all about this stuff, you're going, wait a minute, it doesn't expand, but it penetrates, and you also, and of course, this is the real kicker, because I know you do all your testing in your lab. I've been there, you shoot all this gel. You're looking at temporary and permanent wound cavities and measuring all of that. So how does it compare with hollow points when you are actually looking at the wound cavities?
Well, you've seen how we do this, Tom. We use 10% ballistic gelatin, which is the most universally recognized simulant for flesh, for tissue. And of course, it's it's an homogeneous substance for testing. It doesn't have skin tension, ribs, and things like that. So it's not a absolutely perfect simulant for for shooting flesh, but it's what everybody recognizes and uses, and it pretty much outruns hollow points across the board.
Wow.
We're really impressed with this. I think that it's going to change how people look at ammunition.
What calibers are you offering it in now?
Well, we started in 380 and 38 special, and that was the first year a year ago. And now we just recently introduced a 9, 45 ACP, and a 44 Magnum. And oh my goodness, this 44 Magnum is something. This is gonna change how people look at 44 as a hunting cartridge. Got a 160 grain bullet, and out of a 7.5-inch revolver, it's doing 1,800 feet per second.
Jeez. How about penetration?
The penetration is great. It's I'm going from memory here, but it was like 25 inches. And then when you put it into a carbine, a Model 94 or something similar to that, because all that slow-burning powder in a 44 mag, you pick up about 400 feet per second. So now we've got a 44 Magnum that's doing 2,250 feet per second.
That is crazy. Hey, Jeff, I'm going to ask you to hold on a second here because I know we've got some other ammo we want to talk about. We're talking with Jeff Hoffman from Black Hills Ammo. If you've not checked it out, go check out their website at, let's see, get it right here, black-hills.com. That's black-hills.com. We'll be right back.
Alien Gear Holsters, the most comfortable and concealable holsters on the planet, is offering big savings with our new 2-holster combo. Now you can buy 2 complete holsters for as little as $49.88. Choose from any available holster styles and colors for the guns of your choice. All of Alien Gear's quality products are made right here in the USA and include a 30-day trial, forever warranty, and free shell trades for life. Visit aliengearholsters.com today.
If you're like me, you don't have money to burn, but you still want to buy guns, ammo, and accessories. That's why we created Gun Dealio. That's a free smartphone app. Just download it and start getting the deals. Could be discounts, offers of free magazines for your gun, or you could be the first to hear about new stuff from gun makers. Here's how it works. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you get alerts when you enter a gun store. Special deals, you know. You don't have to do a thing. It'll do a lot of other cool things, like let you watch gun videos and listen to Gun Talk podcast. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Getting more while spending less. Smart, huh? Gun Dealio. Made in America. Gluten-free. At the App Store and Google Play or GunDealio.com.
If you carry a gun, you need training. Your concealed carry class was definitely not training. But time, money, and obligations keep you from spending days at a shooting school. The trusted folks at Gun Talk can help. Concealed Carry 1, our DVD featuring the VADA group, covers what gun, what holster, how to carry, where to wear your gun, and much more. Visit shopguntalk.com. That's shopguntalk.com. Look, this really is life and death. Learn how to stay aware, how to get away, and how to fight if you must. At shopguntalk.com, you can get the 2 DVD set, including Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. No matter what gun you carry, this vital training info can save your life. Learn the draw, the stance, reloading, vital gear from Gun Talk. That's shopguntalk.com. shopguntalk.com.
There's only one place where you can buy that firearm you've always wanted and turn it into your very own. That place is Brownells.com. Now offering a huge selection of firearms from all your favorite brands. Brownells is the spot to buy online. When you're choosing your gun, be sure to look over the enormous selection of parts, accessories, ammo, and more to make that firearm your masterpiece. Brownells.com. Serious about firearms.
We're talking with Jeff Hoffman from Black Hills Ammo. And Jeff, You make wonderful ammo. It is terrific. It works. It's great. All of that stuff. But I want to let people know, and then I got a question for you. I think, and I've been through your place a number of times, I think the secret sauce for Black Hills Ammunition is your people. I think you have some of the finest people who are dedicated that I've ever seen. You've got a lot of people who've worked there a long time, don't you?
We do. Christy did the math here a while back, and the average tenure there is 7 years, and that includes people that we've just hired and people that have been there a long time. We've got people that have been there, I think 24 years. Other than Christy and I, we've got one guy that's been there 24 years. A number of them have been there 22 years. There's a lot of experience there, a lot of dedication.
Okay. Let me switch on you here. When I go through the place, when I talk to you, I talk to some of your people, there is a special mindset, a special feeling that you have, that your people have for law enforcement and for military. And when you make ammo and you stress, this is something that these guys and gals need. What is that? Why is that so important to you?
I've got 37 years in law enforcement, and we've been doing business with the military since '96. And consequently, I recognize, Christy recognizes, and we've imparted to everybody there that the performance of a round can make a difference whether somebody lives or dies. The guy that buys that ammunition, using it for defense of himself, his family, his country, he's dependent on that, and if it doesn't work, he could die, and everybody understands that. So it's kind of it's a particular mindset, and everybody there gets it.
Yeah, it's like when you go through the place, you realize that people know they're not just making units and not just making widgets, and when they're inspecting it or they're making it or whatever they're doing, they've got a care level that is rare. I just wanted to let people know about that. Now, you've got a lot of new stuff out. I see you've got the 300 Whisper, which is like the coolest thing ever. Just shooting a suppressed 300 is just, it almost makes you giggle, doesn't it?
Suppressed weapons are in the category of fun that full auto is. It's just fun to do, and then with a blackout, you get to combine that, and you got the right weapon, you got a full auto suppressed gun, and that kind of doubles the fun.
Oh yeah, no kidding. That would be pretty sweet. I was shooting with a guy a couple of weeks ago. It was interesting. He had his hand loads, and they were subsonic out of his SBR short barrel and went supersonic when he shot it out of a 16-inch barrel rifle. That tells you kind of where you have to be, and that's the kind of thing you have to pay attention to when you're developing rounds, don't you?
There's lots of things, the chamber dimensions, barrel length, and something that a lot of people don't think of is there's things that you have to take into account that are out of your control, like air density due to temperature. For example, you say you're hand loading for your blackout, and you develop a load at 70 degrees, and it's just great. It's quiet and it functions. And then that fall, you take it out, and the temperature's dropped a little bit, and you're down to 20 degrees, and now all of a sudden it's supersonic. The bullets go in the same speed, just the speed of sound changed on you due to air density.
Oh, wow.
So you have to, when you're designing the ammunition, you have to take that into account, because if a military guy is using that on a mission where he was counting on that round to be quiet, and all of a sudden he broke the sound barrier and there's a sonic crack, that means that he could have just harmed his ability to complete his mission.
Wow. Man, I had no idea. That's pretty interesting. All right, I've done it again, Jeff. Can you stay with us just for a few more minutes?
You bet.
Okay, because we babbled on, because every time you and I get together, we talk bullets and ammo, and we kind of go geeky on the whole deal. So we'll do the whole thing. But we'll carry you over just a little bit, and we will talk a little bit more about what's new at Black Hills. And I'm not kidding, guys. When Jeff and I get together, whether it's on the radio or anywhere else, we start talking about, well, did you know this? What about that? And then we start doing the deal where we try to trip each other up. It's just a whole bunch of fun. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. Be right back with more Gun Talk. All right, we're talking with Jeff Hoffman from Black Hills Ammo. Real simply, I'll just say this. If your gun won't shoot with Black Hills Ammo, you got a problem with your gun. All right, Jeff, you guys got all kind of new stuff out there. What do you want to tell everybody about? What's cool?
Well, in the rifle line, Tom, we've Hornady Manufacturing's good friends of ours, and they came out with a new line of improved bullets. They took some of their tipped bullets, their long-range bullets, and improved them with higher BCs and good accurate bullets, and they offered to let us use them in our line. So we added quite a number of the ELD bullets. That stands for extreme low drag, and these have much higher BC on them, and we've got some of their ELD-Ms, which are the match bullets. The M stands for match, and then we have a couple that are X, stands for expanding, which adds to it kind of combines the accuracy and long-range performance with terminal performance of a hunting bullet when it gets there.
Okay.
We added that one in 30-06, 300 Win Mag, and 308.
Nice.
And those are, so we're pretty happy there. It pays to have friends in the industry.
It does. And of course, for those who don't know, the higher the ballistic coefficient, the skinnier, longer, kind of more like Ferrari-like it is. So you have a little bit less drop, but more importantly than that, you have less wind drift, which is really the killer on long-range shooting, right?
That's absolutely the case. Some wise person once said that the amateur's concerned with drop, the professional's concerned with wind drift. And that's really the case, because wind is much harder to predict. Gravity does the same thing each time, but the wind is variable, and the real professional has to get good at reading the wind.
Yep, exactly. Now, one of the things I've been looking at, I got to just actually for just a second here, I'm looking at Ruger bringing out their GP100 and a 44 Special, and that's kind of a cool load. You got the Cowboy Action loads in that. People don't appreciate what a nice, balanced handgun cartridge that is.
44 Special's a good cartridge. It's been around for, I think it was introduced in 07, and prior to that, they had the 44 Russian, which was real similar. It's a very effective cartridge, but yet not painful at all to shoot.
Yep, just really, really pleasant. Okay, I just wanted to throw that out for people who are, if they're thinking about getting the 44 Special, Black Hills has good ammo for it. So what else you got new?
Oh, those are the two new things, and we're working on some new stuff for next year, but don't want to let the cat out of the bag too early. I've learned the hard way. Christy keeps reminding me when we introduce stuff and we're still at the last minute putting the final touches on it. She says, we ought to have this stuff all finished up before we start talking about it, Jeff. So a wise man listens to his wife and business partner.
Yeah, evidently, since she was the one that said you ought to get into the business in the first place.
Yeah, this business wouldn't exist without her prodding there, because I, quite frankly, didn't have the courage to start off on it on my own. I was pretty happy in my patrol car, even though we were eating a lot of macaroni and cheese at the time.
I hear you. All right. Well, the website is black-hills.com. You can see everything that they're doing there. Jeff, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to get together and chat with you.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks for having us again.
You bet. You take care. Good folks there. I mean, really good folks. In fact, I'll tell you what, for a treat, go to their website, the black-hills.com, and click on the video link. Look at their videos they do. They are really, really well done. And you really get a sense of who they are and what they do. I mean, it's just, it's a fine company that make good stuff. All right, we're going to open the doors now. It's your turn. Whether it's range reports or questions, or you want to talk about the politics, you want to talk about this Fourth Circuit Court saying that there's really no difference between a semi-auto and a full auto, and therefore we have the ability to ban them all. Yes, they said we can ban anything we want because none of it's covered under the Second Amendment. 866-TALK-GUN. What are your thoughts?